Eventually, by Lilo Malfoy on AO3. Episode 3, Chapter 3. Oh, come on, babe. Max huffed, staring pointedly at Lucas. She held the pizza box open, glazing back at the pie as if it had committed a horrendous offense. You got Hawaiian? Really? Lucas pressed a kiss to her temple. I got pepperoni too. I know you think it's a travesty, but Mike, Dustin, and I all like it. So, Elle, Will, and I are the only normal ones? Max nodded, her bottom lip jutting out before shrugging. She leaned in closer to her boyfriend's embrace, a small smile on her lips. Yeah, that tracks. Lucas pretended to look affronted as Dustin opened a can of shaken Sprite, the carbonated liquid squirting straight up and hitting Dustin square on the nose. He directed it away from himself. Ah, shit! Elle covered herself with a throw pillar, shrieking as she ducked to hide from the spray of sticky liquid. And that was the precise moment Will walked into the basement. Hey, guys? Will said, his voice low and a little confused. Mike trailed after him, wrapping him into a quick hug before pulling back. Hey, Will, you just came at the right time. Will walked around the couch, sitting down two different bags of chips on the coffee table. He also had 3 packaged bags of microwavable popcorn. Mike picked them up and took them upstairs, making them quickly and juggling with 3 full bowls, popcorn spilling out from the sides, and landing on the stairs. Okay. Mike called out loudly, catching everyone's attention. He passed the bowl to Will, to Dustin, and to Max. Let's start this. Mike plopped down right beside Will on the couch like it was second nature. He didn't remember to decide to, he just did. He always did. Their knees knocked together as Elle got up to turn off the lights before resuming her place in the corner of the couch. Out of the corner of his eye, he could see Max flickering her eyes between him and Will before Mike pressed play on the movie. Ferris Bueller's Day Off plays loudly in the speakers. Lucas and Max laugh together, as if in sync. Elle isn't thrilled by the TV as she always has been, leaning forward on her knees to get a better look. Dustin was throwing popcorn up into the air to see if he could catch it with his mouth. He only missed twice. Pretty good. Will passed the popcorn to Mike, his eyes not moving off the screen. The bowl sat between them, balancing on their touching thighs. Mike's hand dipped into the bowl at the same time Will's did, their hands brushing. Mike felt that familiar warmth creep up his chest and let the touch linger for a moment. Will moved first, his hand flinching away as he picked up a new piece. A couple more times throughout the movie, Mike could see Elle and Max giving each other looks, their eyebrows raising meaningfully and their heads tilting towards Mike and Will's direction. Their gazes were spared, but they were there. Elle looked content, relaxed. Max looked as if she were a detective cracking a code. Sherlock's home, maybe. Mike tapped his finger against his knee as he watched the movie, but he wasn't fully paying attention to what was going on during it. He was more focused on the boy sitting next to him. He noticed when Will's legs started bouncing up and down, a typically nervous tic of his, but sometimes he just did it while he was focused. Mike knew. Still, he took his chance, pressing a hand against Will's kneecap, in hopes Will took it as a comfort gesture. He rubbed his thumb in circles on his best friend's exposed skin. Before he could second-guess himself, he leaned close to Will, trying to make it unnoticeable to the others, aka Max, who wouldn't stop occasionally sneaking looks at the pair. Mike's lips lightly grazed Will's ear as he whispered, "You okay?" He was so close he could hear Will swallow, see how the muscles in his jaw worked. Will nodded, slightly turning to him. Yeah. Mike lingered for a second too long, inhaling the sweet scent of him. He was giving him a moment to tell the truth, if he was really anxious. Mike wasn't sure. It was dark, and the colorful reflections of the TV against Will's face wasn't much to go off of. When Mike drew back, he saw as Will relaxed slightly. Mike didn't withdraw his hand from Will's kneecap. Instead, he rubbed comfort circles along it, feeling as Will broke out into goosebumps. By the end of the movie, laughter died. All noise but the TV died. Lucas' head was in Max's lap, asleep. Dustin was resting against the couch cushion, drooling as his head tipped back into slumber. Elle curled up against the end of the couch, also asleep. And Will let out a keening noise as his head dropped against Mike's shoulder. Mike tensed, hyper aware of Will's rising and falling chest and the warmth that was spreading through his body, growing fast at his navel. His fingers itched to reach up and card his fingers through Will's hair, to comfort him, even in rest. Will looked so peaceful, as if he still held on to that childhood innocence that everyone tried to brush off, that Mike tried to will away once upon a time. But Mike watched Will's face, open and at ease, and his brain could only supply him with one word: beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But he knew he wasn't supposed to think boys were beautiful. Unease pricked at Mike's skin, making him want to squirm. He swallowed thickly, turning his gaze away from Will quickly. Instead of finding solace in watching the credits, he made direct eye contact with Max. Max's blue eyes flashed with recognition, but she kept quiet. She nodded once before turning back to face Lucas, brushing carefully in soft touches along his cheek. And Mike ached. He longed to stare into Will's eyes, brush his fingers against his delicate skin. Mike leaned his head against the couch, closing his eyes and focusing on Will's steady breathing, rather than the tense knot in his chest. It had taken him a long time to get comfortable with Will again, with Will's touch. After Will had gone to Lenora, he hadn't had it for so long that he had pointed and fully tried to convince himself that he did love Elle. Well, he did love Elle, but he loved her in the way he loved Lucas and Dustin. He just wasn't in love with her. But when Will left, Mike had spiraled. He tried not to think about Will at all, about what it meant, about the panic that he felt when Elle kissed him, admitting her love to him in front of Will's closet, and how easy it was with Will. How it always seemed to be so hard with Elle. How he melted into his best friend's touch like butter, but the second his girlfriend touched him, he tensed like a brick wall. And he didn't write. He didn't call. Well, he did try to call at first, but the phone lines were always so busy. Joyce's new job had ripped that option right out of his hands. He did try to write at first, but every time his pen hit the paper, he would confess something that made him seem abnormal, something that made him feel like more of a freak. He would scrub at his skin in the shower, trying to get the feeling that lingered off, off. It never worked. When he saw Will for the first time at the airport, he didn't hug him. Will's head suddenly felt heavier against Mike's shoulder. Mike's stomach filled with guilt, prickling at the deepest part of him. He remembered hugging Elle, kissing her. He gave her flowers that were yellow and purple. Will awaited eagerly behind her, holding his arms out. Mike didn't hug him. Even the smallest touch had Mike's skin warming in a way it never had before, and Mike panicked, stepped away. Will held a roll of pieced up parchment in front of him like a shield, creating immediate distance between the pair. Mike remembered a spike of jealousy crawling up his throat when he asked, "What's that?" Will responded weakly, hurt flashing in his eyes. Uh, it's nothing, just this painting I've been working on." He had believed it at the time when Will said it was nothing. He wasn't sure why that world had bothered him. He looked at Will, who looked so content, almost angelic. He felt the guilt curl up into his spine. He didn't deserve to have Will like this. He knew. He didn't deserve it for 1 second. He couldn't even touch him before. The thought caused Mike's breath to stutter. Mike's fingers switched again, longing to reach out and brush against Will's hair. He let them. He didn't let himself think too much about it, letting his fingers brush some of Will's hair from his forehead, parting his hands through the thick strands, once, twice, 3 times. Will's body curled in closer, and Mike's heart warmed, the rest of his body screaming with guilt. He told himself it meant nothing. God, I've had so much fun podficking this. This is such a good read, such a fun read too. Obviously this one had a little bit more intense feelings, a little more of that internalized homophobia showing up, and which we love the internalized homophobia when it comes to my Byler fanfictions. When it comes to my Byler fanfictions, I like my Mike a little, internalized homophobia, and Will accepting himself. I love that. I love that. Keep it up. Love the work. Chapter 4, the summary is, Elle, my baby, they did you so dirty. I love you, Jane Hopper, my beloved. I will say, I do enjoy that. That she's alive. They did her dirty. So, I'm liking her ending here and how she's continuing. I'm also a very big, Dustin and 11 shipper. Love that ship. Absolutely love it. Especially because, throughout the seasons, you just see Dustin always care for her. So I'm like, yeah, she needs that. She deserves that boyfriend. Not whatever Mike is. As a Byler shipper, I love Jane. Love Will. Mike, it's on site. It is on site. On site, I tell you. Other than that, I've had so much fun reading this part. The internalized homophobia was very much there. It was so good. I just love it. I'm getting prickles in my skin. It is amazing. It's lovely. The way you portray him, feeling these emotions are just so wow. Just wow. I mean, it is really, you really feel that. I hope I portrayed that through my narration. But it's such a good read, guys. You guys should definitely read it by yourselves, actually see the formatting that it is written in. The way that the words are formatted as well is just, not just what words are put where, but the way that they're put on AO3, spaced out, and stuff like that. You could tell that the author had a lot of passion in this. Author, did you perhaps have some internalized homophobia of yourself? Because you're portraying it really well. As someone, I've never experienced internalized homophobia, so I've never had that, but I've heard others talk about it, and this literally looks like exactly what it's like. That both, hey, this is okay, but at the same time, no, it's not. I feel guilty and I want to throw up. I love it. Love it. Can't wait to see more of that. I saw that the author commented, hi, I don't know if you're watching this one as well. I took it wasn't a little hiatus, but I'm back. This is gonna be how many? Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 videos in a row. You guys are being spoiled. Spoiled rotten. Anyways, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.